Hi there! You know what we're doing today? It's a GT3 RS. Stick around because there's a lot coming up. We are.
But this is just on a whole new level.
TVEC.
This is a performance car after all, so you'd expect it to be a lot more rough in terms of ride.
Reactions.
Yo!
Reviews.
Handmade engineering underneath this monster.
Messing around.
4 liters of fuel. Eugene, you're paying for this.
It's crazy. I'm not gonna have enough. Like, comment, subscribe, enjoy.
Okay guys, this is possibly the most special car we have reviewed, especially in terms of look. So I'm here to tell you all the interesting parts about the car. Now starting off at the front, you can just see how aggressive it is. Take a 992, give it some steroids and put it in the gym, and this is what comes out. And I'm not talking about any 992. Take a 992 GT3, put it in the gym, and this is what comes out. Now obviously you have your really intelligent Porsche front lights over here, as well as a whole bunch of air intakes on the front end. Now this air intake here actually runs through the bonnet and releases out of here, where you have your bunch of little canards and little out fenders to allow for air to go out, which also puts pressure down on the front of the car and allows for a slipstream and creates massive downforce. Now coming to the side, I have to mention, we're going to be speaking about this a lot, is aero and canards and fenders and all those fun parts of making a track car. Now on the side here, you have some more air release ducts over here, which helps the air run smoothly around the wheel so that it stops drag and creates more downforce. Now you have some more release points here with some more canards from the outside of the wheel, which stops the hot air bubbling around the wheel and creates the car to have more downforce, more speed, more capability around the track. Now coming here, you can see this really nice strong fender point running from the piece here all the way to the center of the car. Now if you see here, this does happen over here, which is different to the standard GT3 as well as different to the previous GT3 RS, which to me was kind of a 992 or 991 GT3 with a big wing and some little extras. Porsche's gone the extra mile here. They've made it more wild. They've added fenders and flares all over the place to make it look insane. I mean, if you see how the body actually runs through over here to allow for more release of pressure, more release of air and aero around the front tires, which are absolutely massive. Now you do have Cup 2s as standard on this car, 275s in the front, and really nice racing center caps. You do also get, obviously, the Porsche massive brakes, and it is just insane. So heading to the side of the car now, you can see you've got your standard 992 side mirror. Nothing very special to talk about there. You've got your really big side splitter, as well as your GT3 RS sticker, which has become known to the GT3 RS, is to have your big 3RS sticker to tell the BMWs that you are daddy. Now, coming to the side here, you do have another air entrance point here, which is very similar to that of GT2s. Now, GT3s never used to have that, but having over 500 horsepower in this flat 6, Porsche's allowed for even more cooling. Now on the roof, you can see some really strong angles and lines, as well as 2 shark fins to allow for even more control at high speeds. Keep the car stable in a straight line for when you're going down the last straight in the Nürburgring and reaching top speeds of 300 kilometers an hour. Now again, you have your Porsche massive tires on the back end here. If I'm not mistaken, yes, these are 335s on the back. And again, center backs, or center cap, sorry, as well as your massive brakes. And then, once again, another piece where the body actually looks like it was cut away, it was carved away, and aero was placed in where the body is supposed to go. And again, it is for releasing the pressure of the tires, which allows for smooth airflow around the back end here. Now coming to the back end, which is possibly my favorite part of aero on the car and looks, because this wing is absolutely massive. This wing is like 6 feet long, and because of this wing and the really special active aero DRS, because you know Porsche had to put Formula 1 racing technology on their wings before anyone else properly did it, this car generates 650 kilos of downforce at 250 kilometers an hour plus, which is more than a McLaren Senna. And talking about a Senna, this is possibly the only other car out there that rivals it in insane presence. Never mind beautiful looks. This is just nuts. Now you do have a really large diffuser there, as well as your 2 center pipes, which has become known to the GT3 and 3RS. And then, just like on the front, on the back here, you do have your Porsche special lightweight weight saving of GT3RS stickers instead of badges. But overall, this car is insane. I mean, if you look here, there's even more little winglets and fins for more aero and more air ducts and releases for pressure of the air and the heat to get out the engine. You do also have this little lip spoiler at the back here, which again adds to it, which is just, this car is insane. So actually, let's head inside and speak about the interior, because otherwise you're going to just hear this whole video of me talking about the outside.
So guys, now that we're in the GT3 RS, this is such a hardcore track focused car. Starting off with these carbon fiber bucket seats, just getting inside, it really is a challenge. I mean, whenever I was stepping inside of here, I was already hitting my thighs, and yeah, you really do have to be careful when you're getting inside of here, in and out. But majority of it is very focused around the driver. Looking straight ahead is the center tachometer going all the way to 9,000 RPM, which is the red line of this car. And if I do turn it on, it does have digital screens on the side. And then talking about the steering wheel is honestly like a disease, or it's like full of diseases, where it gives you different options for what disease you want. You have PASM, you have PTV+, which is for adjusting the wing. You have ESC-TC, you just don't have traction control. You have ESC-TC, and you have the different drive modes, obviously. Going into sport, going into track, going into every single driving mode that you would want with this car, knowing that you'll be dusting off many cars on a track, especially around the Nürburgring. And this car is so incredibly well built. I wish you guys were sitting inside of here, just feeling the paddle shifters. These are probably the best paddle shifters I've ever felt in my entire existence of being on Earth. It's just so good. Everything is just built for you. It's built for the driver. And then moving on to the infotainment system, I'm not going to talk about it because I don't care about that. You have PASM. When you have PASM, I don't know why you would care about the infotainment system. But talking about it, you do have your standard maps. Of course, this is standard Volkswagen, or everything that you associate Porsche to be. I mean, coming down over here, you have your very manual looking automatic gear lever, which I think they did that intentionally to like make it seem like it's a manual car when it is actually not a manual car, because standard in all GT3 RSs is the 7-speed dual clutch transmission. And then obviously it does have piano black plastic. I personally do not like that because it does start to create some scuff and some marks over the years. So I do wish Porsche did something better.
Okay guys, so now my main point I want to talk about being in the passenger seat of this car is the insane build quality. I mean, there is no sound anywhere. And I'm coming at you, Mercedes, because recently you guys have been slacking. Now obviously in the center there, you can see the really cool Sport Chrono packages on this car. The beautiful carbon fiber running along there with your really nice leather and Alcantara running along the whole top of the roof. Now you can see there is some storage space here and your small bin here, and you've got a little piece there as well, and a decently sized glove box, which is so good sounding. It just sounds so good. You do have your passenger cup holder because Porsche cares for you and they think about you when they design these cars. Now I see you do have another tiny little tray piece here for anything else, coins, stuff like that. And being a GT3 product, you do have your little tether handle point here. No door handle, but I actually really think this is properly cool. The only thing cooler is that massive spoiler in your side view mirror. Now Eugene did mention the really nice carbon buckets, and you can see here, there's a little handle piece here when you get scared, because this car will make you scared when you're driving so fast. Now, you do have the Porsche badge there, so there's the GT3 badge there. And one thing I want to come after for BMW now is this. How come in the GT3 RS, I get a place to put my phone, to charge my phone, and a little glove box, and BMW says, no, in the CS light-saving fast car, you guys can't do that. How come? How come Porsche can do that and you can't? Now, another thing we'd love to talk about is all your little controls here that are physical buttons. Well done, Porsche. These buttons are so nice on your hands. They feel so good to press. They've got a really nice, like, fixed point. They just feel like such good quality, and there's nothing really to complain about. And then one thing, because we're going to have to just head to the back now. Just see how much space is in the back. Well, as you can see, guys, unless you have no legs and can fit in between the massive roll cage in the car, because this is a high-performance track car, Little shout out to the wing over there. There is no space. So let's actually head outside and see how much boot space the car has, how much practicality a GT product from Porsche really has.
Now that we're at the front end of this car, we have to check out how practical it is. I'm lying to you guys. There's no such thing as being practical in the GT3 RS. All you get from Porsche are the radiator fans and much of the mechanical stuff that are aimed at this car for going very fast on the track. And also another thing I want to talk about is the bonnet. It's so incredibly light. It honestly reminds us of the M2 CS, although this is a much better car. This is daddy. So then obviously you do have your warning triangle over there, just so if you do have some sort of emergency, you can just pull over to the side of the road, and so you're going to be rest assured. So now let's go speak about the engine.
Okay guys, we are now at the insane back end of the GT3 RS, and we had to check out the engine. So if you guys come and follow me here, this is about as much of the engine as you'll ever see on a GT3 RS. There's a little piece of a venture for releasing air, and that's about as far into what the engine is. I mean, you just have to believe Porsche that the engine is there. Now, something funny is Porsche is so good with weight saving that if you come and press this button here, this piece can actually come off of the car, and is just held by this little tether point here, and is also very, very lightweight as well. And that's just to check your oil. Obviously, being a Porsche, it is super, super reliable, and so you're not really going to have to check that a lot. Unlike BMW, they have much boot space to put spare oil. So actually speaking about the performance of the engine underneath here, now this is Porsche's 4-litre flat 6. It does rev to 9,000 RPM, has a lightweight flywheel and a whole bunch of little modifications to make the engine perform like a race car's engine. Now it does have 520 horsepower and 470 newton meters of torque. Now that is 20 horsepower more than a standard GT3, but once again, the aero is what counts on this car and what makes this car so fast. This car does 0 to 100 in sub 3.5 seconds, but once again, who cares about 0 to 100 when you're doing 6 minutes on the Nürburgring?
Now that we're at the end of this in-depth review of the car, it is not the end just yet, because we still are, wink wink, nudge nudge, going out in this car in the future. So that's why you should like, comment and subscribe, because there's a lot more of this coming in the next few days. So I just want to give a massive shout out to our good friend. And well, if you guys have a nice car or a cool car, just message us down below in our email and we'll probably get to it and we'll see what we'll do from there. So this is just bye from me for now. So make sure you like, comment and subscribe. We'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye.